I'm Henry. I am here with Ramsey Ramirez, the owner of Kaboom Comics and South Texas Comic Con. We're here at his grand opening of his Kaboom Comics location in Westlaco, Texas. All right, Ramsey. So tell us, were you a comic book fan growing up? What did you buy? What did you collect?
Oh yeah, for sure. Spider-Man had always been my favorite. The Flash, another favorite. Thor, another favorite. Grew up reading comic books. I grew up on a ranch, far away from civilization and very few friends. The people that did live there, I didn't want to be friends with. They were jerks. And so I needed things to pass the time. My mom would take me to a place called Wynn's. They'd sell like fabrics and things like that. But they also had little grab bags with comics, and it was like 3 comics for $1.50 or something like that. And so that was my introduction into comics, and I was hooked ever since.
What era did you collect? Was it the 80s?
80s, yeah.
So
yes. 80, probably 81 and up. And actually, my first comic that I remember was Buck Rogers. You know, and
the movie adaptation.
Yeah, and so back then. At least I didn't know if there wasn't any comic stores, so you couldn't really go and browse and say, hey, you know, I'm gonna try this. You got what you got in those packs, and that's all it was, you know, at least down here.
Right, at the convenience stores, you just go to the comic section.
Maverick Markets, you'd go over there, oh man, and they're all bent, and you didn't care, you just grab them, and you know, whatever they had. You know, sometimes you could follow the story, sometimes you'd read one, and you never found out what happened. You know, now I know what happens because I own a comic store. So.
Sure, and as a comic book reader, everyone wants to own a comic book shop. So
yes.
How did that come about?
Okay, so I was publishing a magazine called Magazine X in McAllen at my office, and we had about 1,000 square foot area, but I was only holed up in a little, 10 by 10 room, and I needed, something else to help pay the rent. All right, so we had 900 square feet of emptiness, and so me and my girlfriend Marla went to Denny's one night. It was like 2 a.m, and we were kind of trying to figure out, well, what can we do there? What can we open up there? And my friend Chris from Ponce Martial Arts, plug. He happened to be there. He's like, hey, what are you doing here? And we're like, oh, we're trying to figure out what to do with that place. He's like, dude, open a comic store. You love comics, and all that time it hadn't dawned on me. I thought about it, in the past, but I just hadn't thought about it at that point. And I was like, dude, you're right. And so I started looking into it and trying to, figure out how am I going to do this. I'm going to have to sell my collection, to start off. And that's kind of how I started with my own collection. And, barely 7 years later, it's starting to make some money and pay me a little bit, not a whole bunch. So it's more a labor of love. But you're surrounded by awesomeness all the time, and you can't beat that. It's like, you're in a boys' room.
Right, and you have 2 locations now?
2 locations. Basically, we started amassing a lot of comics and buying collections, and we had 2 storage units full of comics sitting there and no space in that original 900-foot location. So my friend Alexis had Sunblast Comics here in Westlaco, and he was getting out of the business, and he's like, hey, do you want to take over this location? And I decided that, hey, we have storage units full of comics. Let's pull them out and see if we can make it a business. And so now we're up and running. We have Michael Copon and Blake Foster, the Blue Power Rangers from Time Force, and Turbo here for our grand opening. You all saw them a little while ago. And yeah, hopefully everything goes well. We're hoping.
All right, so tell our viewers, why should people come to a comic book shop rather than ordering the comics online? Well, what is it about a comic shop?
Well, there's nothing like walking into a store. Yeah, digital is easy. You can jump online and order something, but it does take a while to get to you. This is instant gratification. You walk in, you see it here, you're able to flip through it, and see, hey man, is this cool? Does this suck? And look at that, hot death. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna find out. So, you see, you can't get that when you're shopping digital. Another thing is, America is pretty much a corporate entity, and the corporations are really hurting the mom and pop shops. So if you want cool stuff like this, you have to support the locals. Shopping on Amazon or Walmart.com doesn't do that. So plus we have a great selection here, you can step out of your house and be here in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending where you live, and you can pick and choose what you want to read and see instantly if you're going to like it or not.
So, what kind of items, what do you sell at your shop? What, besides comic books, what else you got?
Comics, Magic the Gathering is a card game. It's kind of like, I always say, kind of like chess meets Wizards and Dragons. That's really, really popular here in West Lago. We have a gaming area that kind of fits maybe 50, 60 people. And so we have tournaments for Magic the Gathering, another card game, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon card game. If you kind of follow me over here through all the people, can we do that? Can we do that? All right, follow me, follow me. Over here we have the Funko wall, which is a popular phenomenon. Pop figures are so popular.
I feel like I'm in Richard's. I'm in Richard's living room.
Where is Richard? Man, he's missing. So, you know, basically these things, people love these things. They, you know, collect their favorite, their favorite characters. Some people, like Richard, just collect everything and anything pop. No, he doesn't do that. He's gonna get mad at me for saying that. Only DC, right? You know, so we carry this kind of stuff. Action figures. We have some original Kiss busts.
I like busts.
Yeah, you do? Oh, cool.
I do like busts.
Like that. My girlfriend's here. I'm kidding. So, we also have these awesome Captain America shields. This one's actual real aluminum, and then this one's plastic. The price difference is evident on the metal one and the plastic one. $349 for the metal, $110 for the plastic. We have cool things like this beautiful Harley Quinn leg lamp, you know? So right over here, more action figures.
So as a comic shop owner, have you seen an increase in business because of comic book movies and TV shows?
Definitely. I think that's really helped pop culture in general. The fact that these movies are popular has really opened it up for people who go and see the movies and are like, man, I really love Captain America. What else do you have?
So you get a customer like, who's Green Lantern? Who's Flash? I mean,
exactly. And so they come in and they see a little bit on the TV, you know, or in the movies, and they can't get enough. And they're like, how do I see more of it? You know, the movies come out once every couple years, you know, for depending on the character. This is a good way for them to come in and kind of, you know, follow up. When Man of Steel came out, we had a lot of people coming in saying, hey, I heard, you know, Death of Superman, he died like in the 90s. Do you have that? You know, what do you know about it? So it does kind of, you know, get them interested and in the door. So that's definitely why comic shops are starting to come back. You know, before, like, even, you know, 8 to 10 years ago, you couldn't have a comic shop this size because there just wasn't a market for it. But, you know, with the movies coming out, that's been a big springboard.
And you're also the founder of South Texas Comic Con. What is that about?
It's a 3-day convention now. It's been 3 days for a couple years now. And it's a pop culture convention. It started with just comics, you know, comic creators selling comics, things of that sort. But Comic-Con's kind of really quickly became a pop culture phenomenon. And now we have celebrities from all types of movies and TV shows coming. Our next Comic-Con is April 28th through the 30th. And so far we've announced Opie from Sons of Anarchy, Sean Patrick Flannery, he's from Boondock Saints and Powder. We have the voice of Mario. Yes, Mario Brothers coming. I can give you a spoiler here. We have a Dragon Ball Z reunion. We have the voice of Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and Bulma. So we have them coming.
Edward James Olmos?
Edward James Olmos is coming. We've already announced him. We're going to have a very limited appearance by the icon from WCW and WWE, Sting. We'll be there. There you go. Look at those guys in the back all happy. He's easily excitable. And then we have, who else do we have? John Schnepp. He's the writer for Adult Swim. He did Metalocalypse, and he's also writing the Slayer comic that'll be coming out pretty soon. Slayer the band. Who else do we have? Man, so many people.
Where can people go for further updates?
That's a good question. They can go to southtexascomiccon.com and see the whole lineup. I just, some of them aren't up yet because this is a spoiler and shouldn't be airing to the future. And by that point, it should be on the website.
Or
but
on
tickets
Facebook.
are available there. Or Facebook, South Texas Comic Con. Tickets are available there. If you want to be a vendor, you can vend there as well. You can get all that information online.
But there's video games, there's cards, there's comics.
Yeah,
there's toys.
it's a huge event. We had 15,000 people there last year. There's live wrestling. There's video games, video game tournaments, classic arcade, Q&A panels with the celebrities, celebrity meet and greets, photo ops, and a ton of vendors as well. And so much going on in there. It's really one of those things where you can go all 3 days and not see everything.
Cool. So is there, before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to tell our viewers about the comic book shop business or about the Comic Con? I mean, what's missing? What do we need to?
Basically, come out and support your local businesses, not just in comics and everything. There's some really cool stuff happening here. Like, we had a meet and greet with some Power Rangers. That usually doesn't happen around the valley, but it can't happen unless you guys shop here. So please come to Kaboom in Weslaco, Kaboom in McAllen, and South Texas Comic Con. If you don't know, anything about comics or want to learn, you can come and ask us. We're laid back, we're cool, we're down to earth. Well, some people wouldn't say cool, but I think we're cool. And you can ask us, and we can definitely help you out. Find the right comic for you, or kind of not just comics, but also pop culture stuff.
Yeah, how does a comic pull work for those that don't know?
Oh, so we have a subscription service. So as I mentioned, one of the problems when I was young was following a story. Sometimes a story goes past one issue, sometimes 3 issues, sometimes 6 issues. And that was always a problem for me, not having a comic store. Now that we have comic stores, basically what we can do is get you on a subscription service. And the subscription service, basically, if you collect at least 10 comics a month, we can hold them for you every week when they come out. Some come out weekly, some come out monthly. And from there, how you doing? This is Blake Foster.
Hey, I know this guy. He's the owner of Kaboom Comics.
Wow, that's me. So we can hold them for you, set them aside to make sure you never miss an issue.
I think that's it. I appreciate coming out in an episode, and we look forward to possibly being on the panel this year.
Awesome.
So thank you very much, Ramsey. And
these are the heroes
that's right.
we deserve.
We're signing off. Thank you.